This is the Chasing the Frame podcast with your host, John DeMarco. Let's go!
What up, frame chasers? New house, new podcast, new everything, basically. Can you guys hear me, by the way?
Yeah.
All right, great. So, this is a special Chasing the Frame, actually, because it's the first time I've ever been asked to do a movie review. And actually, Edgar's been on the podcast. Adriel, you're not on the podcast yet. You're in about 3 weeks, I think.
Hey,
so
I didn't even know that. Man. You got me hyped.
Yeah, I had to check when you're being released. So this is coming out on Friday because it's October 15th, right?
Nice.
You guys wanted it by that time.
Perfect.
So we're gonna get this pushed out as quickly as possible. You're welcome. And also, guys, if you haven't checked out, I know this is Friday already that we're recording on Monday, but Niall and Brendan Part 1 is out now, so you can listen to that podcast. It's every Wednesday, as you know. Let's get to housekeeping real quick. And if you hear a dog, I apologize. That's Bear. He's a Barrel Baskins. That's
sitting on my feet, man. He's having a good time.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm glad.
He's a really beautiful dog.
He's soft, right?
Yeah, he's very loud though. He has an opinion and he wants the whole world to hear it.
Yeah.
He's a Barkosaurus Rex, as I like to say. He's a Barkosaurus Rex. So first off, we gotta thank our affiliate partners, Artlist.io. Honestly, the best music licensing platform for any type of content creator. Thousands of new songs every day and unlimited downloads. Which is always a plus, especially when trying to find music for any project. That is always the hardest part. Guys, don't you agree? Finding music?
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. And I think it's something that, I've seen a lot of people put on the back burner, especially in the independent commercial production market. Like choosing songs that are meaningful and push the story forward is important. And, sometimes royalty-free songs that don't come from a premium service like Artlist just don't cut it. So
You couldn't say it any better. Do you know what? You just finished the whole thing for me. Thank you. But
I'll
guys,
email your sponsor.
hey, it's the affiliate.
I'll build them.
It's but the link is in the description below, and if you sign up today, you get a year and 2 extra months for free. So check it out, Artlist.io, an inspiring music licensing platform created by filmmakers for filmmakers. Second, we have merch, y'all. Yeah, teespring.com/store/chasing-the-frame. Not only are we selling t-shirts, but we're also selling Frame Chaser mask. $10, gal. We're in a pandemic. It's a pretty soft mask. I'm not going to lie. I lost mine, but I'm about to buy another one because...
For shame, John. For shame.
You know, I wear it every day. I put it in my pocket, put it in the car for work, and then one day I'm like, where the fuck is this thing?
So it's probably good that you lost it. It sounds like you needed a new one anyway.
I did. I washed it, okay? It still came out pretty. It smells wonderful.
It looks comfortable.
It
From
was
the picture
really
I
comfortable.
saw. I actually do want to order one.
You should order one.
Well, that's good to know. They're good in the washer.
They are good in the washer. It's cloth. It's a cloth mask.
It sounds like we planned this whole episode just for product sponsors so far with the back and forth banter.
Yeah, this is actually not scripted, everyone. And then third, it's time to show when we ask for the donation to give to Church of the Frame. 4 ways to donate. Actually, 3. I can't even write properly. 1, paypal.me/CTF podcast. One-time donation for that. And then we're working on the Patreon. I will have the link to that in the description below as well. $5 membership a month, which allows you to get early access to audio and visual content a week before it airs. That will be more for next year's stuff, guys. We are kind of almost at 2020 is almost over. So next year we're going to promise content quicker and better and faster and stronger and all that shit. And then third, in the description below are links to all the cryptocurrencies that we've talked about in the past to our trust wallet. So it is to a separate wallet, not going directly to me or Mark. It's a third-party wallet that we have access to. And, just send the crypto there. And you know what? You can send $10, $20, whatever you want. It grows, it depreciates. So it doesn't really matter. It's playing with the stock market, basically. And last but not least, guys, like the Facebook page and also subscribe to us on YouTube. And also, I thank Sparkling Ice, even though they're not our sponsors, but they're delicious.
They're delicious.
They are. You ever had these ones?
Absolutely.
Dude, the lemon lime one, fucking banging.
It's better than
I'm
Sprite.
more of a LaCroix man myself. But
Dude, these should be on set more than LaCroix. I'm just saying.
Those are fighting words, John.
You don't understand, man. First of all, when I'm not knocking mics over, if I'm not getting him a LaCroix for set, he's not as there, needs, if LaCroix is in the crafty, Edgar's going 300.
I'm sorry, dude. You have to change to this fucking Sparkling Ice. We just went on a 7-minute, I feel like, episode of fucking sponsors that I don't even have. But anyway, guys, let's get to the podcast. Edgar, Alejandro, Adriel, Roman.
Sir.
How are you guys today?
Terribly
Fucking
great.
phenomenal.
You know, you guys are slightly matching, by the way, and
Okay, yeah, I did.
Intentional.
intentional. You guys call each other up?
Yeah,
You
twinsies.
are business
Planned it.
I
partners.
texted him. I was like, hashtag twinning.
Hashtag
Sent him a
twinning?
selfie. He was like, yes.
So, so we are here today because they asked me to review their movie Home, which comes out October 30th. Am I correct?
15th,
15th.
actually.
I'm sorry, 15th.
No, it's all right.
October 15th. But you watch it for the Halloween season, so it's
Absolutely.
perfect. Yeah,
That's why
15th.
we're releasing it a couple weeks early. We want
Makes
people who
sense.
are busy on Halloween, if you have plans through this pandemic, which there's not many options, to have the chance to get spooked out by our creepy little flick.
Sweet. And then I'm going to be as honest as possible with you guys.
That's fine.
So I don't want our friendship to be hurt. So
if I storm out, just know that it's only for the drama of the edit. It's
Okay.
not actually for our friendship.
we're gonna
No, you know, John,
Yeah.
something I respect and like about you, man, is I think you're a very honest person. And, you know,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
that's what we're looking for. That's the whole point of art. You know, the point of art isn't to fall in love with it or to hate
Yeah.
it. But I think good art,
Yeah.
you take things away from it, both the negative and the positive.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to
And
it.
I did watch it twice. So I did watch it. Me and my girlfriend watched it last Friday. Not last Friday, sorry. The Friday before when you first sent it to me.
Absolutely.
And then I just watched it last night with me, my girlfriend, and my friend Mark, who usually helps with the podcast.
Awesome.
We watched it last night together. So just to recollect my thoughts, because I didn't want to like go a week and not. That's why I asked for it again. I didn't want to
yeah,
go another
I
week.
appreciate
and
you
shit.
taking that time because
So-
it means that the information you're going to give us is actually
Yes.
accurate to a recent watch.
And I totally took it the first time as a participant, where I'm like, I'm going to watch the movie to enjoy, see what I like, see what I don't like, just as a normal viewer. I did that twice. So I'm going to tell you that's my whole game plan for everything and how I looked at it. So let's start the movie. So it was good, guys. It was. You want me to give you scores first? Because I don't know how. I mean, I never did this before.
I know this is new for all of us.
Yeah.
You know? I've
Yeah.
never
Been
been
actually-
in the position.
Yeah,
You
we're
know,
just
where someone
hearing
just
it.
like
Let's talk about background. Let's actually before we do that, let's talk about the background of the film a little
Okay.
bit. So
Yeah.
Let's get into that way.
Okay.
So I'm kind
Butter
of
you
going
up.
ahead. I was like trying to write
no,
down
it's
how
okay. Like I said, man,
Yeah.
we're all spitballing here.
I was
so.
trying to do like a rundown for the show. I'm like, how am I going to do this? And I'm terrible at that because I was like, do I do it this way? Do I do it that way? But I was like, well, let's just kind of fucking free flow it a little bit here.
Yeah, background sounds like a good place
let's do
to
the
start.
background. So when did you guys make it?
We shot the film approximately 2 years ago. Right around, it was 2 months after we got our investment for
Yeah.
the film. We had a $50,000 budget, 35 in which we spent on the production itself, which
And
we
the-
shot 15 days.
And our investor, he was formerly a client of ours,
Mm-hmm.
calls us up out of the blue, and he's like, "Hey, are you guys looking for an investor?" And we were.
Sweet. And this is your first feature?
This is our debut feature film, yeah.
And then I know Daddy's Home is just a short, right?
Yeah, so that was our longest short film production. We spent $2,500 on that
Mm-hmm.
by the end of it. And that was a 27-minute film. This film is by far our longest at a 65
hour and 6,
minute.
yeah. And then how many people did you have on the crew? Was it just you two, a few other people?
No, this was also the biggest crew that we'd ever worked with, right? I mean, I'd say that we had
Absolutely.
a crew including the post team of about 12 people
Oh, wow.
and a cast including extras of 15, but a main cast, as you see, of only 5 people.
Yeah.
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 Something I'm not sure if you knew this or not. It was filmed entirely in Reno as well, which was
I did notice
Quite
that.
fantastic.
I remember you tell. I think you both told me this. It was filmed in Reno, which I was like, oh, that's interesting. I like the setting. I like where it was located, and it threw me off for a second because the house had the background of the strip of, I'll call it the strip of Reno,
Yes, absolutely.
and it confused me for a second. It threw me. I'm like, are they in Vegas?
You're not the only person
Okay.
who's taking confusion to that moment.
Yeah, and I did see your cameo and your cameo as well. I saw.
Nice.
So I did spot that out. Yeah.
Young Hitchcocks.
Yeah, the Hitchcocks. And was anyone's voices too? Because I thought I heard your voices as well at the end.
Yeah, we
Oh,
did.
nice.
Yeah.
Good catch, man. We
See?
actually did.
That's
have
what
some-
happens when you watch it twice.
nice.
No, it's a really good catch. We did have some voiceovers. It was an alternate ending that we had actually played with in post.
Yeah.
It wasn't the original ending of the
Yeah.
film. There's still a different layer that was added on to the release version, which the version you've been seeing is actually our festival copy.
Okay.
There's just a couple small differences
Okay.
to the release version.
That's a good. That's a good thing to know for me because
Yeah.
there's some issues that I saw that I was like, I hope they're fixing.
And I'd be
this.
curious to hear when we're talking about it, kind of talk about how from the version you've seen to the version that's coming out, how those things have changed or if they haven't changed.
Exactly.
At all. I think that's a pretty cool.
And I think that's what's great about this podcast today is that we're having this open discussion about your film. And this is I don't think you see movie reviews like this. So we're having an open discussion. This is totally different. And I think this is totally a cool thing. So
me too. You got to be kind of vulnerable.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, as artists, you got to be vulnerable. Yeah.
It's cool, man. I think that this is this really pushes that chasing the frame mentality of like really seeing what the heart of Vegas filmmaking is, or being a filmmaker from this city, and how that's affecting filmmakers right now in 2020. So cheers to doing this, man.
Yes, cheers. Yes. Cheers.
Cheers. I don't have a
If I
sparkling
had a
ice.
LaCroix,
I'll buy you some. I'll buy you some LaCroix next time. Yeah.
Thanks, John.
Yeah. What flavor do you like, by the way?
Any flavor.
Okay.
I am going to try that one of these days, though.
All right.
I'm going to give it a shot.
I have an extra one. I'll get you one.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
You want it?
Yes, please.
All right. Hold on. Everyone pause. 15 days, you said, right? Filmed in all Reno.
Yes.
Crew was how big again? 12 people?
We had about 12 people.
12 people. And then, thought a light came out for a second. Anyone else see that?
I liked how that it glowed.
Oh,
for
good.
sure.
Okay, I thought so. So let's kind of get to it then. So I have some notes.
Okay.
And I guess I kind of wrote sporadically, so I'm not going to it's going to be all over the place a little bit.
That's okay.
So I think one of the first things that kind of actually, I'll just give the scores first. I'm sorry, everyone. This is all new to me. So
trial run.
So for direction, we'll start with direction, work our way down into overall. So direction, we give it all 8s. Me, Ashley, and Mark. So we okay.
Cool.
I'll take that.
Acting.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Is this is based out of 10, correct?
It's based out of 10, yeah.
Okay.
No, it's actually based out of
He's like,
7.
it's based out of 30. I'm like, oh, fuck.
It's actually based out of 24 frames.
Oh, that's clever. I like that.
No, I'm kidding. I was
That is hilarious.
acting is we gave it a 6 overall. Overall 6.
Okay.
And I'll kind of get to that a little bit. There was some cheesiness to some of the acting and stuff like that. But otherwise, I know the direction and acting kind of go hand in hand, but the direction and a lot of other things was pretty well. So we did enjoy the direction of the film, and it counteracts with the cinematography, which we also enjoyed, which we give that another 8 as well, too. So that's 8 over on the board. Audio, this is where it gets a little finicky, guys, because, again, I know it's a festival copy.
Yeah.
But Mark gave it a 5. I gave it I gave it a 5. Mark gave it a 3, and my girlfriend gave it a 4.
Okay.
The audio was muffled, we thought.
Absolutely.
It sounded really pillowy, and we're like, what's going on? We can't really understand. It threw me off a lot in the movie.
Yeah. And I think in that copy, it really, in the festival copy, it's inconsistent.
Yeah.
Like there's some sequences that sound really great, and then there's other sequences that kind of hold it back. So yeah.
Yeah, especially in the beginning, that really just, I felt like that held it back a little bit, and I'm like,
The beginning
That's
was
good
what
to
was
know.
shot last.
Yeah.
really?
So to give you a little backstory, this is
Yeah.
where I think it's fun to kind of help you understand what
Yeah,
had happened there. In the first act of the movie, that was all shot at the end of the process.
And in
Okay.
one day.
in one day.
The whole hospital.
whole first act of the hospital was shot in 9 hours. So that was after our lav kits took some heavy damage 3 days before.
What happened?
They were falling out of actors' pockets, even though they were clipped.
Yeah.
We had a couple instances where they fell on hard concrete and some
shit.
driving scenes. It was pretty bad. The antennas were coming apart. In Reno, there's not really many places to go get something repaired like that or do that quickly or do any repairs. And we were shooting on Christmas week, so we couldn't do any Amazon orders because they were already back ordered.
Oh,
And 3
shit.
pieces that we ordered for the film never even showed up because
Oh, wow.
Amazon completely just said, hey, we're back ordered. We're going to give you a refund on these items. So
Shit.
we were kind of dealing with some shit because of the timing
Yeah.
we chose to shoot the movie. So sequences like that and a lot of that hospital in the release copy have since been ADR'd and remixed.
Okay, because I was wondering if you guys ADR'd it on that
We ended
festival
up
copy.
having to. 'Cause
Yeah.
We just realized the first act in specific is where it was the weakest in the festival copy. And you want the first 15 minutes of the film to be the most enjoyable so people stay for the rest. So
And one more thing too, I just want to say to anyone listening, there are going to be spoilers. So if anyone does not want to listen, I should throw that out in the first 10 minutes of talking.
Would it be possible, John?
Yes.
If this is too diva-ish, dude, by all means. But have a section where we can have a small review where it's this is going to be spoiler free.
Yeah.
And then
I will try my best.
But yeah, man,
If I can't hold myself to it, I can't
worries.
make any promises.
Yeah, no worry. I know it's already so much of this is so new.
And then cinematography story, we give it a 6, 6, and a 5.
okay.
because the story, and I'll say this now to you guys, the story, in a sense, I personally felt that for an hour and 5 minutes, it felt too short in a sense because this might sound contradiction, but like it's too short in the sense of like I want to know more about the backstory of the family, but then again, it felt too long. It felt perfect because again, also it could have been shorter because a lot of it was like elongated. Like some sequences felt a little too long.
Absolutely.
And it was just like, okay, but we want to know more about the family. So it was kind of this weird, like, I was like fighting with, like, not fighting, but I was like, we were discussing this last night. We're like, I'm like, it's too short. And like, no, it's too long. It needs to be shorter. It needs to explain more. So I was like, well, we need to find a
halfway point, right?
Yeah, it needs a halfway point.
So in the release copy, the pacing of the film changed pretty dramatically.
Why did you give me this fucking festival? I feel like
in the release copy. Well, the release copy actually just went gold yesterday.
Gold?
Yeah.
What's that mean?
It's like a gaming term for, ready for release.
Oh, okay.
Picture locked. I'd say picture lock's like the equivalent. I should have just used the regular film term.
Wrong podcast.
Wrong fucking show.
Wrong show.
We picture locked that yesterday for release. Because actually some assets were still sent to us as of last week. So, a lot has changed in that. The film actually lost 5 minutes.
Oh, wow. So
we just hit it right at that feature mark at 61 minutes.
Yeah.
But overall, the pacing feels so much cleaner. I definitely think that we hit that fine balance of let's shorten some of these moments so we get back to the core of why they existed in the first place. Mm-hmm. But we still kind of hold on and reserve that. We wanted this movie from the second it was written, it was always meant to be a short feature experience. Like we always knew, even from the first draft, like we don't even aim to hit an hour 15. Like we want this to be a horror film that happens so quick that by the end of it, you have enough questions and enough curiosity that someone like you is going to go watch it a second time.
Yeah.
And it kind of ends up earning that second hour, and you start deciphering all these little things that we left in the script and hidden those nuances. But yeah. Anyways.
Casting, we don't really have a score for that, but our thing that we came across, and it's twice when I watched it, is that I feel like the casting was a little weird because the girl who played the older girl should have been the younger girl because she looks younger. Yes. I think personally, and then the girl who played the younger girl should have been the older girl.
How much, just out of curiosity, how much of an age difference do you think the two of them actually had in reality?
I have no idea, but like I didn't think about that, but just the way I looked at like the two girls. Yeah. And I'm not trying to be mean about the girl who played the younger girl. She there's people who have older faces.
Absolutely.
And she does look like she has an older face. So like, if someone went to Carter, if she was like 16 and she can pass off for a 21-year-old. Like the girl who played the older sister should have played, I think personally. Sydney, thank you. Should have played the younger.
Edgar with the trivia?
Yes.
Sorry.
So yeah, I think that those two should have been reversed, and I think Abby Ray, I know that she also looks around their same age, so it doesn't feel like it's a mother and daughter situation where I felt like it just it kind of threw me off as well.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So I just want to throw that there too.
Yeah, no, and I think that it's kind of funny because Abby and Sydney are absolutely not in the same age range. Yeah. Even at the time of filming, there was definitely a motherly possibility for somebody of Abby's age at the time we filmed it to be, Sydney's mom. So it's really funny that it looks that way, and it's something that in this movie gets perceived different from everybody that watches it. We get some people that say, yeah, no, it's crazy, man. Like there's some people that say, that they think the casting was perfect in age. And then there's others that say, no, it all just seems flipped. Like, I feel like Maya could have been the mom and the mom could have been the older sister, and they kind of start piecing it together. So we kind of just have sat and let that live with what it is. Cause I think everybody has a different interpretation for what the cast looks like and the realism behind it. But at the end of the day, it was really cool to see these people, play the age ranges that they were cast in. So I think it was
So what was the age range of Sydney and Maya?
as characters?
In general, I guess like what you said. Asked me what was their ages. You thought?
Yeah, no, I'm asking you what you thought the age difference was.
Oh,
Not necessarily here to tell you, but it's more just for my curiosity as to what you think. 'Cause again, this is one that we've gotten a lot of different answers on, right? Even from some of our first festivals, we've
work in
gotten
progress
different.
screening. We had very
And we
different-
recut the film to have different angles after our first ever festival screening to make that character look younger. There's actually a version where the age difference is wildly apparent. So the film was recut to use different angles and lighting tricks and color grading tricks to lessen that load. So,
all right.
But anyway, I'm curious, man. Shoot it at me.
There is a right and wrong answer for this, John.
There is a right or wrong. I'm not going to tell you what it is.
If I, it's under 5, I think.
Under 5 years?
Yeah, under 5 years apart.
Okay, well, that's good. That's phenomenal. It was over 15.
Over 50. Holy shit. So, wait.
If I can jump in here,
Yes, go ahead.
think something to note too is the reason we went with the casting that we did is that's our producer Bear. He's getting a little upset right now. Is that we felt that these actors truly embodied the personalities of Sydney and of Maya and of Catherine. It was, because we're theatrical actors, for us, what I love about theater is they do a lot of colorblind casting a lot of times. And for them, the sense of like, can this person portray this character is more important than can this person look the part. And so I think ultimately that was the more important aspect for us when it came to casting.
Understandable. Next we have color.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan.
Okay.
All of us, we weren't.
That's okay.
It was 3, 4, and 4. Now,
What do you mean by color? Like
color correction, color grading?
Okay.
Because the film felt too warm for a horror film. We felt like it should have been more desaturated. It should have been like grayer, like The Ring or any of that nature.
Cool
Cooler
tones and desaturated.
because there were some weird like warm tones in the film, and it was
Absolutely.
It was also too bright. I felt like in certain spots that should have been darker, and like that's overly lit in those areas as well. And that's how we saw it. Like we're like it throws you off. We're like, oh, huh?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one thing I thought, and it's so weird because like I love and I'm biased, obviously.
Yeah.
This is our movie.
Yeah.
But I love the color grading because I think that's almost an intentional decision that we did, which is, a lot of especially more modern movies, like A24, all the time they go for that washed out look, and it is a cool look for sure. But I think that's kind of what turns this movie on its head, to where I think it almost it is. It's kind of keeping you. It's kind of making you uncomfortable. It's like, why does it look
We
so?
wanted to play with vibrancy of color.
Yeah.
Kind of making certain scenes over pop so that when you get to sequences, which my 2 favorite scenes in the movie would be the hospital hallway sequence with the dream. Spoiler alert. The hospital sequence. I hate spoilers.
Yeah.
The hospital sequence with the mystery man and
I think those one shots is the other one shot too. Those were incredible. I thought.
Thank you.
Those
and that's the other scene that I was
you.
about to refer as the hallway sequence. The 2 one-take sequences.
And the one are you talking about when the lights go out?
Yes. The hallway one, loved that one, and I really loved the lights going out in the house when they're in the home. In the hallway, it was a little dark, just a little bit more, because I'm like.
And that's
For a
again
split
like, and
second,
that's kind of the point I was trying to bring
Yeah.
back is like we wanted to play with over delivery of light
Yeah.
and then the complete lack thereof.
Yeah.
And I think that was kind of something that, in our eyes, we saw as a success that we pulled that off in the movie. Again, you have a lot of sequences that are very, very vibrant. In the third act of the movie, we play with a lot of purple tones and blues and just a lot of neon colored lighting. And then when you get to those sequences where there's no light, you're kind of, completely thrown into a different type of darkness. So we wanted to play with how lighting affected your mood throughout the hour journey. And man, I could totally see how with an audience, a specific audience, and it seems like your crew was that audience, it doesn't really resonate, but I appreciate that feedback a lot.
Yeah.
No, go ahead, John.
Go first, sir.
Something I think that we made peace with, especially in the editing room, is we realized that so many things we're doing is a departure from traditional horror, and some of them, I think we realized some of them are really going to resonate with audiences, and I think the most of the audience will really not like at least one thing that we've done.
Yeah.
And I think we've already made peace with that and realized like this is just a part of us breaking away from what's traditionally expected.
Yeah.
So, you know, but it's surprising to hear the things that you personally, like the color grading, that does surprise me.
It does,
You
because
know?
it's even something that we've taken nominations for with
Yeah.
the post work, you know? Like
Yeah.
that was like, and it's something that we've taken a lot of pride in with some of the post work, but at the same time, you can't deny the right that somebody may feel it was completely off-putting, or you know what I mean? Like that's the beauty of art, is opinions and how subjective it is. To
Exactly,
the viewer.
and that's also how I looked at it when I watched the film. Like, I'm just gonna be that IMDb reviewer or that Amazon reviewer. Where
They're
I'm,
ruthless.
like,
They
you know
don't
what I mean?
care. They're being honest.
And I let me be as honest as possible with these guys. I mean, I respect them. I give them a hell of a lot of credit to make a film in general too. So I didn't make a fucking one. So like whatever I say, it doesn't matter because it's still their movie. I'm just giving my opinion on it and seeing like my.
But you
feedback.
appreciate the
Opinions are
craft.
valuable.
And you
Yeah.
appreciate, that's what I
Yeah.
like about you, John. You appreciate the craft and you understand, like, man, you know, even something like having this set up is difficult. It takes time, man.
Yeah.
Just to get all the angles right, get those levels right. It's not easy.
Yeah.
So.
Then because I think because of the story part of the thing that we talked about, like with the shortness and the longness, I think that's where the editing was a little. We gave the editing 8 all around.
Nice.
So
I'll
We're
take
proud
it.
of that. We worked hard on.
Yeah,
Oh my
dude,
god.
I mean, well, that's where we spent. We spent 15 days on set, but we spent
How long on-
13 months in post.
yeah, hey, that's what a typical film anyway.
Yeah,
It close to a year.
It was a
lot of
lot
things.
of time,
but it was a
and
great
lot of money
process.
and-
Yeah.
It was a great process.
Yeah. And then production design. I know you guys rented a house. It was a 6. We got 6.6, and my girlfriend gave it a 4. She said it was a little.
Good, just so we don't get the demon number, man. You almost
Yeah.
hit me with the
Yeah, I know. That's what we said last night. We're like, oh, we're going to say 6, and then my girlfriend's like, no, not 4. So the reason why she was more of the 4 because, and I understand why. There's too much shit in the house. She felt like it wasn't like it should have been more minimal, and that kind of took her out of the film as well.
Explain that.
Like there was like too much. It was like shit in the house, like the curtains or the all stuff around. Like, I think that stuff.
Yeah.
It was more of that stuff that threw her out. And it's like in a horror. I watch horror films. Horror films in general don't have much shit like around in the production design or set design stuff like that. I'm like, I see what you're saying because it kind of threw her out in that regard. I think because like the curtains were like a weird color from what that was and all.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know,
Okay.
that whole
Okay.
thing. So I understand where she was coming from with that. So that's why I gave it a 6 too. I'm like, it's someone's house. You can't really do much.
Yeah.
You can't be like, let's just take off these curtains, put nothing there,
Yeah.
and move this over here. Like you can't be fucking with someone's house. Like,
Absolutely.
So
There was definitely limits. He let us do quite a bit of alterations to the house. But obviously there's an extent that you have to be careful, even with production insurance, that you don't want to damage someone's home.
exactly. You I mean, and also it's a low budget, like a lower budget film too. So you
Yeah.
gotta be very careful with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The biggest thing we got away with creatively was just modifying the light. You know,
Yeah.
we got to try to shape the area. You know.
Yeah. And then overall, so final grade, sir, 5, 7, 7.
I'll take the 7s. Whoever gave a 5, I don't.
John, was it you?
No, that was Mark.
Okay, good.
Mark.
Mark, if you're hearing this, buddy, we appreciate you. We respect your time, and we, highly reconsider you give us that third 7 so we can get that lucky 7s,
Yeah.
dude.
Well,
So,
and watch the new cut once it comes out.
yeah, the
Yeah,
release cut, man.
I think that's what's going to change a lot of our opinions too. And also, again, I didn't know it was a festival cut, so I can't really go.
And we haven't told anybody that
Yeah.
we've asked to do reviews that it's a festival cut, because at the same time, like, if you like it in
Yeah.
this state and you can take things away from it, then in the release state, you're going to have a much better experience. So it's okay to get reviews for us at the core of what the film is, even with all of its early stage problems. So that way it's kind of like under promise, over deliver.
Yeah.
We want
Absolutely.
to let people know, like, hey, the film has gone through its journey. It's definitely had some issues. The festival copy wasn't perfect, but it did take us 7 awards worldwide, and like there's a lot of things we're proud of from that version.
Yeah.
Including we won Best Lead Actress in Belgium, which was the highest award that we had won.
That's awesome.
For Shirley. Shout out to Shirley Van Patten for playing Sydney Wells.
Woo, woo.
Woo, woo. It's okay. Like, I think that now you get to experience the film one more time, and I'm sorry you got to watch it 3 fucking
It's
times.
fine,
John.
but I'd rather know that I watched the festival cut than go, oh, that was the final cut. So now I'm
Absolutely.
like,
And
Now-
you have one more opportunity to like rewrite some of your expectations.
Yeah.
And some of them might even be lessened. Like, who knows? Again,
Exactly.
dude, it's all subjective. You
It
might
is.
hate
I
how
might
the
hate-
film
yeah, who knows?
shortened and paced. You're like, well, I like those moments that were
Yeah.
longer
Yeah.
before. Like, you never know, man.
Yeah, because like again, for me, and I think that's what we were all saying too. Again, like is like we want to know more about the mother and I feel like we didn't get much and the family background in general. Like I think like I love the cold open ideas, I do, but
What do you mean by cold open ideas?
cold open is what you guys did in the beginning. Cold open, like the first 15 minutes is a cold open.
Yeah.
And then you go into the like you ever see House or any show like Law and Order.
Yeah, that has this cold
Oh, I
open,
see.
right?
I'm sorry. I
Yeah,
understand.
yeah. That's what cold open is.
I love cold opens. Like Office, Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah, exactly. So what you kind of go into the hospital right away.
Yeah.
I wish we kind of met the family a little bit first in a sense of like who they are, maybe a little bit more background about that. Like I think I want to see more also of the little girls, and because the thing is too like
They're our favorite.
the thing about that is like what we kind of saw the theme in the string of that is like why do the girls like we got this thing where the girls don't really care about the mother that much, and also like the older sister talks to the spoilers talks to the father, but like we kind of didn't understand like when she started doing that, why she started doing that. There's a few things that were like story. That's why I was talking about story like longer, shorter in that regard. You know what I mean? I don't know if you guys want to rebuttal on that or anything of that nature.
No, I'd say that I'll have to take the ropes on this because I'm the writer of the script. I wrote the script. It's funny because I don't want to sound cocky, but I would urge you when the release copy comes out and there's a little less of those issues that I'm sure were jarring to you before, that will allow you to kind of go refocus in on certain moments, because I think something that I really take pride in from what we pulled off from Home is that it's a film that was always meant to be the opposite of a spoon feed.
Yeah.
It was always meant to be a film that made you feel like you were getting either just enough information or just under. And I think that there's a lot of nuances in the script and a lot of things that we make the characters play out with their relationships that tell you pieces of that story. And just to give you an example, I think, seeing how Sydney in her young stages is youthful, fun, exuberant, there for her sister. She's got all these strong traits in her childhood.
Yeah.
But as she's gotten older, she's dressed in dark clothing. She's kind of lost that sense of happiness. And the only one that she's really attentive to in the household is Maya. I think all of that comes from the understanding through the flashbacks in the movie, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, that Maya has always gotten the shit end of the stick in the relationship with their mother. She's always been the one that the mom tried to prep for the big day that she knew that secrets were going to hit the fan, and she wanted to make sure that she kept her daughters. And Sydney was always the one who was speaking out about, what she believed was even true with this book, what she believed was even true with her life. And I think a lot of those answers are in the film. They're just maybe not there in the way that I think other films with a longer runtime or a higher budget would choose to do them.
Yeah.
We just wanted to make life feel real. That was always the point of Home. It's about moments. It's about honesty. Yeah. So we have these real human moments that might not feel that dramatic. They might not feel film-esque. But they, in our eyes at least, and this is, again, the bias of being the fucking filmmaker, those tones come out in very subtle ways that we hope our audience is able to susceptibly see when they watch the movie, if they're able to get into that zen place where you're in the story and really listening to every word. But not saying that you didn't. I'm just saying that
I watched it twice, motherfucker.
Yeah, I know. No one's atting you, Mo.
What happens if we just started bawling like, I can't believe John would give a story of fame?
I would be like, wow, this really this my worst nightmare happened. I'm like, my worst fear actually happened. I was like, oh my god, someone's gonna walk out today. I'm gonna like, everyone's like, oh my god, how are they gonna take it? Are you nervous? Are you scared? Like, are you gonna be okay by yourself with two people in the house? I'm like, yeah, they're very very open and honest about it. And I think having an open dialogue is like the best medicine to the whole thing. So again, it's through my eyes.
I'm what you think, dude. Watch your Yelp page though.
Yeah. Thank God I have a Yelp page. I'm not a restaurant, dude.
Apple reviews. Apple reviews.
Oh yeah, Apple reviews. Yeah.
I got you, man.
Only got 7.
It's so fascinating because when I was working as a DP, and I was reading through the script with Roman, and I say this time and time again, and it still kind of shocks me, because I saw a story over and over and over again.
Yeah.
I read the script over and over and over again.
Months on end,
Yeah.
we were breaking that script down and really getting our budget sheets right.
Yeah.
And I liked it. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, it's got great moments.
Yeah.
It's got those moments I see it. And the weird thing is, it really wasn't until I was in the editing, getting to piece it. And again, like I could go on and on about how on set there were all the behind the scenes setbacks that we had. Like I remember one time our fridge went out, and then our on set chef had to figure, it's like, oh fuck, now we got to go to Walmart.
We had like 4 days worth of cast food.
Holy shit.
Yeah, because we had an on-set chef cooking 3 meals a day, so everyone was fed. That was a part of contract, and the fucking fridge went out.
Yeah.
All this meat and all this. Oh my god.
It was a nightmare, dude. And but in a nutshell, what I'm trying to say is that it wasn't until working this film to death, and then finally in the editing room, I saw like the beauty of it, which is, to me, and again, this is just from my biased perspective, the beauty of this film is that it completely subverts expectations to where hopefully our audience, and super spoilers, is thinking, oh, I know what this film is leading into.
Yeah.
It's leading into who this mystery man that's haunting us. But
Yeah.
that was never
intended to be
See,
twist.
You know what's funny? What I realized yesterday too is like because we talked about this is like, so you at the ending, spoilers. What was it? When you find out she went to a vegetative state is when the husband comes back, is possessed her. But what doesn't make sense to me, maybe you guys can explain this and clarify this, is that when they're in the hospital and Sydney goes outside and sees that mystery man, how is she seeing the mystery man if her mom's in a vegetative state still?
So that scene is, that's one of my favorites. I hope that this gives point now that I could explain this to you, like how we subtly give all these answers in the movie, and there's a lot of things that might be confusing unless you give it another watch through. That we call that the dream sequence.
Okay.
And the reason why we think there's so much fear behind that scene is because you don't know whose dream you're in. We go through 2 layers before you find out who's actually having the dream. So we do notice Sydney go to sleep watching TV. She wakes up and Maya's missing. We go through this sequence where the mystery man is chasing.
Yeah.
When she comes back in the room,
And Maya opens.
Sydney is actually Maya watching Sydney sleeping, so you think Maya's the one that fell asleep. But if you actually pay attention to what happens
Wait, what?
next,
Wait, hold on.
Maya enters the room
Yeah, Maya enters the room and Sydney's sleeping.
and Sydney's sleeping, but Sydney was the one in the hallway.
Yeah,
So we've seemingly dream hopped.
gotcha.
But then Catherine's actually the one that wakes up. So she was the one having the dream the whole time.
So you inceptioned us.
It
on-
was It was Robert's way of getting in Catherine's head and showing her exactly how this film was going to end when it started.
Okay.
That Maya was going to be the one to lose her life.
Mm-hmm.
Sydney was going to be there helpless. And that Catherine was going to, and you'll notice she's in this state of wide-eyed terror watching Maya get murdered. It all is just a foreshadow to what happens. It's a sequence that's made to really fuck with you in terms of whose dream and whose fucking perspective were we just in.
Yeah,
and that confusion is necessary because we're telling you the story right here, but we know it's told in such a confusing way that you're not even going to know how that's relative to the end of the movie until you've either rewatched the movie or if you remember that sequence and kind of piece it together by the third act.
And I didn't like actually piece that together at all because it just threw me for a loop in that regard because it just went boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, wait, what the fuck? It again, like now that you explain it to me, it makes a little bit more sense. You know what I mean? So yeah, that I'm like, now I get it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So hopefully when you see the release copy and you rewatch that sequence, maybe you'll find some new cool nuances in it. But
So I mean that's always a plus. Like always look for those Easter eggs and shit like that
absolutely.
too.
And Edgar's a huge advocate and fan for going on YouTube and watching ending explains or film breakdown explains or scene breakdowns. You know what I mean? Like I've noticed he does that a lot. I used to hate that. I really did, but I've grown to appreciate films that push the boundaries for how much information you should give, how much you should leave to interpretation, and then kind of let people who really understand the movie break their theories down. There is a powerful presence to that. So I am glad that we have a film that has that kind of possibility where hopefully people have these conversations after they watch it and be like, hey, what the fuck did that dream sequence mean? That shit was whack. And someone else is like, dude, it was Catherine's dream. Like, you didn't get, like,
Yeah,
those are the
yeah,
types of conversations I
absolutely,
hope that the film provokes. The people that don't like it, the people that do, kind of come together and help teach each other things about the movie. That's kind of what we're hoping.
Because sometimes fan theories are better
Yeah.
than filmmakers' theories. What they were thinking in their head.
Yeah.
I've heard some things. I'm like, wow, yeah.
What have
that's
you heard?
totally what we.
Someone told me that they didn't even think the daughters existed.
You know, I thought that the first time I was watching that, I thought Maya was not real for a second. Then, like, when I saw your character, your cameo, spoilers, now I'm like,
Yes.
oh, okay, it is real. Then that's actually what I thought for the first about 30 minutes of the movie. When we got to the part where you start learning about the book. And I was like, is she not real? Like, is this going to end up like that? And then it threw me off, and, like, you know, spoilers, nothing happens. No.
Thank you, John.
You're welcome. I had to try to save one for you.
I appreciate that.
No problem.
I'm really enjoying this a lot. You know, now that we're like dissecting the film.
We also were talking about we felt that there was no really conflict too with the sisters until the end for like a hot minute, but there wasn't like anything where like, and this was like late last night too, so I like went into bed right after this, so I wrote down notes jogging, quickly. I'm trying to remember a little bit. There's no conflict with the sisters because like, you know, they don't really mention the mother. And they don't really like. It's like they don't give a shit about them. Like Sydney doesn't give a shit about the mother.
Sydney doesn't. Maya really does, though. And I think that half of it is her fear of losing her mom, but really the bigger half is that she's just like her mom.
Who Maya, right?
Maya's very. You'll notice in the film she asks a lot. You know, do you think we're crazy? Do you think that? Do you think she's making it up? Are we making it up just like her? And then she starts getting defensive as those realities start to prove more true with the supernatural circumstances that happen in the home. She starts getting really upset and defensive about the idea of mental health. So, I think that they're both vastly different characters on how they feel about the mom, and that was always the point.
And I think ultimately it's a film about, you know, the relationships within family, and I loved the relationship of the sisters. I think the point is for them to not really have tension because they think it's such an innocent. Like pure relationship until they realize even that relationship has its own cracks. It's not until
That has
the end.
nothing to do with them.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
minus the book, right? I mean, in some sense, I don't know. Like, obviously, it seems even I have my own opinions of it, and you're the writer, dude. But to me, my interpretation is like, you know, Sydney did keep something from this relationship that's supposed to be.
And that kind of is a bad way to end their relationship right before the inevitable end. You know what I mean? Which is, I think, why we added that minor conflict at the tail end, because it's almost that theme of watch how you treat people at any given moment, because you never know when it's going to be their last. Ending on a secret was what we thought would have been the most hurtful thing between the two of them, because they had a very honest relationship.
Let me ask you this. How old is Sydney when her father dies?
If I recall correctly, the way that we wrote it in the universe is she was 3 years old.
Okay.
She was 2 going on 3. By the time Maya was born, she was 3.
Okay.
But 2 when the catastrophic moment happens and the third act.
Gotcha.
I'm trying to keep certain spoilers out for snippets.
Understandable.
But when the catastrophic moment happens, I think that is when we assume that Home was written and released within a year of that circumstance. And by the time Maya was 1, Sydney was going on 3 or 4.
Gotcha. You want to know my least favorite scene, actually?
Tell me.
The talk show.
Okay. Now, if the talk show wasn't in it, do you think you would have gotten as much understanding about the book as you did for the rest of it, or would that have not mattered to you?
I think it would have not mattered maybe to me, or the talk show, I don't know, that talk show just seemed off. Like, there's something about it that I was like, it's not really doing anything for me. I think, like I said, I watched it twice, and I think if that talk show gave me a little bit more exposition about who they are, and like, because it's like they just paint this picture of her being a perfect mother. Like, if you just change it to like maybe a flashback or something like that about the girls' home life as younger kids or whatever it was, I think that would be more impactful than the talk show. And like, even if this was my scenario of me doing this, like the cold open of how you guys did that, I would say like it ends her in the vegetative, ends with the whole heart attack, and then it goes straight to the talk show and the news thing. So like after your opening credits, it'd go with the talk show or the news segment or the talk show, sorry, and then the news section, and then it goes to all that stuff after that. I think that would have maybe worked a little bit better
From an editing standpoint.
from an ending, for flow. Sorry, but yeah, that's my opinion.
Cool.
Yeah,
It's it actually wasn't in the original script. That sequence. When we had our work in progress screening a year and 4 months ago at the Palms.
Holy shit, it's been that long.
Yeah,
wow.
we had 500 people show up, and with pieces of paper that you couldn't even write your fucking name on.
Yeah,
just brutally honest checklist questions. We wrote that scene based on a culmination of I'd say 25% of reviews, which was an important number, I think, in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, definitely.
That people said, I wish there was just a little more about the book so I wasn't so confused on what it is. And we ended up writing the True Talk sequence, shooting that in Vegas. We found a way to merge it into the movie. So a lot of that had kind of happened in the post room, which is why it doesn't almost entirely feel in place, but we felt, and I still feel like it's a necessary component, because I feel like if it wasn't there, as much as you don't like or appreciate that scene, I don't think it's one of my favorite scenes in the movie either.
Okay.
But I think that it's one of the few
hot
scenes
take. That's a hot take right there.
It's not one of my favorite either. It's because it wasn't in my original vision.
Yeah.
That's why it's not my favorite. I wrote it because I wanted to appease a little bit of public standpoint, because I wanted to always keep 90% of my vision, but I had to understand
can't leave
that
the audience
10%,
completely in the
the
dark.
audience needs what they're looking for, so this can be a successful launch. I mean, we don't want to piss everyone off.
Yeah,
so.
definitely.
If I can add to that real
Go
quick.
ahead.
And this is weird, man, because again, like it didn't feel like it was part of my movie until the editing room, honestly. So like I've if you had asked me my opinions on the movie for when I was DPing, I would have a different response than I would have now.
What would your DP response be, if I may ask?
I would say
Yeah,
like
watch your fucking words.
I'd be like, man, I think I wouldn't speak on it as much. I'd just be like, I think it's got great moments. But I wouldn't understand the story enough to kind of be an advocate for the subtleties of it.
Yeah.
So let me now add my little subtleties of why I like that scene. I like it because it establishes who Catherine Wells is within this tiny town. It's also a film about perception, not only within the family, but how the whole entire town perceives them. Because Abby's always had this, Catherine, there's that pressure within the household too to maintain that, to like, hey, we're this perfect little family,
Yeah.
But even at the book signing, it kind of shows that a little bit better than I think the.
Fair. That's fair.
And,
fair.
Again, like the bookstore was an OG scene. That was always the purpose of that bookstore sequence, was to show how important the book was.
Yeah.
I think what the audience wasn't getting from that scene,
Robert,
was like, how is Robert's involvement in the book, and how does Holmes' memoir revolve around his passing? Because that's something, ultimately that becomes a huge portion of the plot by Act 3. And the bookstore sequence didn't do it. So I agree with you, man. I think there's other ways we could have gone about it.
Yeah.
If we had figured it out before we shot the movie, I think we could have come up with some different, maybe more in tune with the film ways to add that in. But
definitely.
I appreciate you saying and bringing up that sequence, because it's a unique portion of the film that I think is worth conversation.
if you don't mind me asking, John, what is your most favorite scene? Is that English?
I think most favorite scene, most rewatchable scene.
What's your favorite scene? Would be the proper.
What's your favorite scary movie?
What's your most best
favorite
favorite?
I have to say, like I said, the one takes are my favorite I've seen. Those are the best ones, I think. Those two one takes are
Thank you. I think
phenomenal.
that's where the film shines.
Yeah, the film shines. It's shot. Like I said, it's shot beautifully. Like it's like watching on the Samsung. I watched it downstairs on that Samsung, and I watched it over here. So it holds to it for what it is. And like, what you guys shot on what G7s, right? Looks fucking phenomenal. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm like
that UHD 4K really fucking shined on those.
It really
bodies.
did shine actually. Yeah. So I mean,
Thank you.
those shots were really good. Again, it's also preference. Again, like color correction. That's what I didn't like. You know what I mean? I'll be honest about that shit. And also, I think here's a question. You probably don't want to spoil this, but let me ask you this: why was she in the hospital to begin with?
I don't mind telling you this.
Yeah.
There's a definitive answer, and
Is it in the actual final cut that we are going to see? Or no?
I think that that's always something that I wanted, and we did this in Daddy
They
Loves Me
subtly
too.
talk about it, don't they? In the
They
waiting
subtly
room?
talk about it happening. Well, the waiting room isn't in the release copy. Anyways, The waiting room isn't in the copy he saw either.
Yeah.
It was in Festival V1. He was in Festival V2. There's been a lot of cuts of this movie. There's like at least 5 deleted scenes.
There's always fucking like 20 different cuts of things. Yeah,
it's a movie that's changed a lot over time, but it's something that I wanted to leave open-ended to how the audience wanted to perceive it from what we tell them in the movie, but also I wanted to know in my heart that I knew.
Here, come here.
Bear is upset by this conversation. So we always knew, and we discussed right off the bat what the answer to this was, but it was never. That was one of the things I most didn't want to spoon feed the audience, is that she is slowly, unintentionally killing herself from all the stress of bottling in this.
I don't think
secret
Bear
that
liked
has
that at
shaped
all.
her
I heard him
career.
bark about that.
He's not happy with that. The stress was taking her heart out.
Gotcha.
And the reason the doctors couldn't pinpoint it is because it really is only explainable as anxiety, but she takes herself to this point of she knows what she did. She knows that all of this fame was revolvent around this revealed task in the third act. And she knows that her 2 daughters have different opinions of her, and she still has to upkeep that image both in public and in home because they also don't know the truth, regardless of how they feel about her. So I think that this culmination of where her life was, I mean, it's been 15 years since Home's come out.
Yeah.
She never had to even release another book because it was just that popular, that she's lived in this story. Spoiler alert, she's lived in this lie that at the very start of the film, we're catching her in her peak of trying to play this character, and she is fumbling. Like, she cannot play this character. And it's interesting because as an audience member, you've never seen her play this character at the first act of the film, so you just see this woman who's crumbling, which is why we told it that way. We wanted to show in Act 2 her pulling herself out of it, and it's assumedly what she's always done in her career is when she gets in her dark places, she remembers, this is a character. Kathy's a character.
But isn't that from the possession, though, of Mike? Right?
I don't think always. I think that sometimes it's her anticipating his re-arrival, his repossession, knowing that he's going to fuck something up for her as he does throughout the entire story, and her trying to overplay that character to the best of her ability so she can just
and it's
move
kind of
forward.
fascinating. It's kind of fascinating too. And I'm sorry to cut you off
No,
on
you're
that,
okay.
but like it's fascinating because how you mentioned that at the end of the movie when we see that flashback of when Cindy's in the room where she's watching the whole thing unravel. You see this very different Catherine, the Catherine that you don't see now. So it's like a very slow burn in that regard to like Catherine unraveling. It's like every year, so it's like a very slow burn in that regard to like Catherine unraveling. It's like every year, for even those 15 years, every year slowly killing her in that.
Absolutely, just losing herself in this character, and this character is actually taking her own life without her knowing it.
She kind of went too hard on method acting.
Yeah, ultimately, man, that's honestly the best way to explain it.
Okay.
She kind of spent her life method acting this character, and she's losing herself, and she's losing her sense of control, and she knows it's all going to crumble. I mean, the pieces are in front of her that everything she's worked for to get to this point will soon cease to exist.
Gotcha. I blanked out on another question I had for you because of goddamn Bear. Goddamn Beryl Baskins, you damn bitch.
Beryl Baskins. I heard she got eliminated from that.
I have not watched. Sorry.
Spoiler alert. Jesus.
That's the big spoiler alert.
I've been calling for Beryl Baskins since I watched fucking Tiger King.
I still haven't seen
Great
it.
show.
It's good. You should watch it. Give me your review on the sparkling ice while I
absolutely.
look for,
So it's good. It's good. There's one big reason, and it has nothing to do with like, it's purely preference at this point. The only reason I don't like this over LaCroix is because it uses that artificial sweetener that isn't sugar, and I realized as soon as it said zero sugar,
sucralose.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know what that ingredient's called, but I think it's the same used for like the Diet Coke
It's
or the
got
Coke Zero.
sucralose, yeah.
It's just
shit!
I've never liked that
well,
sugary taste.
I'm trying not to drink sugar, and I'm like, God damn it! Thank you for pointing that out to me.
Not to fuck your life up, but I would avoid sucralose at all costs, just because it actually processes in your body slower than sugar.
No wonder why
and
I'm
it
fucking
also
fat.
slows your metabolism down. Off of immediate impact in the bloodstream, it's a metabolism slower. And
Shit.
yeah, sucralose is the worst alternative to sugar.
Well, thank you for saving my life.
No, I mean, I'm sure this is healthier than soda.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm no health expert, but yeah, that's the only reason. But I
You're
love
a filmmaker. That's what you are.
Yeah. I love the carbonated feel, man.
Just so you know, erythritol is one of the best artificial sweeteners. Not that you should live your life by it, but in terms of like what your body can process, because
Okay.
it comes out in the kidneys. You piss that shit out. It's a different process than sucralose.
Well, shit, I gotta look for like Gatorade Zero. I've been drinking that shit lately a lot.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Does that have sucralose in it?
I bet.
Oh, fuck me.
man. That's why I like, dude. Even with the when I rarely drink soda,
Yeah.
the only thing I drink is Sprite.
Yeah.
And I water it down because
Okay.
it's too sweet for me, man. I don't know why. I used to love soda,
Understandable.
but it's
No,
not
I
enough for me.
used to drink 2 liters of soda a day, so I know exactly where that
Oh my
itch
gosh.
for tasting a sugary beverage, bro.
Yeah.
It's embedded in my soul. So trust me when I say
I know. I'm
I
trying
get
to
that,
cut
man.
down the sugars and stuff like that.
It's
but
hard.
It really is. It really is. And I hate flavored. Like I hate like putting lemon or lime in the water.
It's not the same thing.
It's not, and it's so stupid. I think it's stupid. Personally. But
Hashtag John freaks out over lemon water.
here's a question that we have. Why do they want to leave Reno?
You know, I wrote that based on my own life, actually. There was a time in
Okay.
life where I felt like I had no other option but to leave, whether it was going to be for a short amount of time or the rest of my life. I had to leave my hometown to find myself. My mother had passed away, and I just felt like I needed to go.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I just needed to... You remember, man, I escaped
Oh, yeah,
LA.
absolutely.
Yeah.
You were out in LA. That's actually when we wrote Daddy Loves Me was out in LA.
Yes, I remember you guys telling me this story. Actually, yeah.
And then when I had kind of found myself and really kind of discovered who I was as a person, I found my way back to Vegas, found a new appreciation for the city I was raised in again. And, you know, I've been here ever since. But
Yeah.
I think Reno, it was less about going to Vegas, like, oh, that's a great place to live. And
Yeah.
it was more like, it's just next door. Like,
Yeah.
let's just fucking... You've always wanted to go somewhere warm.
Yeah.
Vegas it's 8 hours
Yeah.
away. It's an hour away via plane. I'm going to get it for you for your birthday. Just
Yeah.
graduate. Let's get out of here. Say goodbye to your friends. I think it was just this idea of like, it's so easy. Like, let's just go. We don't have to deal with mom anymore.
Yeah.
Like, we've been dealing with this our whole lives and it's hitting a new low. Like, this is just too much. And I think it was less the idea of Vegas and it was less Vegas and more the idea of Vegas
leaving.
and what it can do for
Yeah.
the two of them.
That's well. I mean, I wasn't expecting Vegas. I meant in general, like why do they want to leave Reno? And that's all I was trying
Yeah.
to find. But the question for you on this: is this a goof or is this what the airport is? WF. It said. Is that
Edgar, you're the one
Yeah.
who made the
I
editing
did
choice
design this.
for
I did
WF.
design
So
this.
what
Yeah,
was your
what's
thought
the
process
WF?
You're talking
there?
about so you're talking about that
when they
shot.
show the ticket?
Okay.
It says
okay.
WF on it. It says WF to. I see now.
He wanted to make up.
I'm like Wake Forest,
He wanted
Washington.
to make up a place. I remember
Oh,
that.
of where they live, of where
Of
they're
where
living.
they're
Yeah.
from.
Yeah, because they never say they're in Reno.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
They
he
never
wanted to
say
make
they're
up
in
a
Reno.
place.
Yeah.
I at this point, man, I can't tell you why that choice was made,
Oh,
and
like-
I can't even tell you what the WF was
Yeah.
for.
Because I was like Wake
West
Forest.
Falls or something.
Yeah.
I just know it was something that when we had screened and tested the film, we never got any negative feedback on, so we just decided not to change it. But
How dare
dude,
you? I worked so hard on
I also don't fucking know. You know what I mean? Like West Fuckville, for all I know. Like who knows where they came from? I swear to God, it'll be an unsolved mystery for the
that. I spent
remainder of this.
hours designing that. Damn it.
You son of a bitch. No.
So yeah, man, I'm sorry that we'll never know that answer.
Yeah, no,
That's
it's-
one-
I
all
don't
good.
even know that answer, man.
It's all-
and he's
good.
the one that designed that.
So we'll say that's a goof, I guess.
yeah, that's a goof for sure.
Intentional goose.
So, all right, here's two more questions for you guys. One, are you going to release the deleted scenes on YouTube, or is that going to be with the premiere of the movie?
We have some upsells for the film.
Mm-hmm.
We're selling the film at an ultra low cost. I think we'll save that for the end of the podcast,
Yeah.
though. It's always been the vision to try something new with the way that we've been marketing this, and so
Yeah.
far our tests have proven that I think this is going to be a pretty successful campaign for us. But we do plan on in coming months for people that have purchased the film, retargeting them with some really cool things that could bring them back into the film for another watch, including or not including deleted scenes, director commentary,
Okay.
documentary that we kind of have,
Potentially physical props? Question mark.
Oh,
physical
okay, that's cool.
exclamation point. Yeah, we have
Exclamation point? Question mark?
yeah, I don't even mind talking about that now. You okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
The books that were in the film, even signed by Catherine
Okay.
at the bookstore,
Oh,
all
wow.
of those will be available for sale. They have the prop pages that are used in the movie when Sydney is writing in it as a journal in her
cool.
youth. But it's also the other pages, the spoof pages, are the script. So
Yeah.
the book is actually the script of the movie with 10 prop scenes that we used for close-ups when we shot the film.
Oh, cool.
And we're actually selling those signed by Catherine Wells and signed by the entire crew on the inside, the entire executive crew. So we have a lot of cool shit. It won't be available on launch day because we first want to take the. I hate keep going back to gaming because I sound like
day
such
one,
a nerd.
you don't want that day one shit.
We want just like a gamer, like Last of Us 2 did. I think Last of Us 2 did a beautiful approach. Shut up! Don't make that face. It's the best game ever made. They had a beautiful approach where they have still to this day held off on releasing multiplayer for the game, even though it's coming and has been promised since day one, because they wanted people to beat the fucking game before they go to multiplayer. Like, play the 45-hour campaign.
I haven't said anything. I don't know why you're looking at me. I haven't said anything. I've been quiet this whole time.
I wasn't really scolding you. I don't know
Oh,
why
you
you
weren't?
feel offended. That's
I felt
why
scolded.
I'm concerned about
I
you
feel
right now.
offended by both of you talking about Last of Us 2 because I had never played the first or second one.
Oh,
I just
but
finished
please
the
do.
first one. The first one was very good, actually. I didn't enjoy it at first. It's like home. I didn't enjoy it at first, and then gradually, as I played more and more, like, damn, this
You
is a really
understood the
good
vision.
game. Yeah, I'm like,
That's
and then
why
by
I
the end,
kinda
was like,
relate
oh,
Last
okay,
of Us.
you totally threw me off for a second because it's like home. I thought you didn't like home for a second.
It's not that I just didn't understand it, and it was not what I was expecting. And I
Okay,
think that's
yeah.
the
He
biggest
didn't
thing.
understand it.
Yeah.
I didn't
Even when we
think it was
got
gonna
into
be
the
a-
editing room,
Yeah.
he was always knew he was gonna have to take the backseat because
Yeah.
he was like, I don't necessarily know if your vision is entirely in my head. Like, he did his best as DP to give me his passion, his creativity, and merge it with what I needed, because we had very thorough conversations on
yeah.
how all these
Yeah.
scenes were going to be
Do you
shot.
remember the fight we had about the light of the hallway
Dude,
scene?
we had a big blowout. on
Oh
the
shit!
set
Well,
about
tell me
lighting
about
on
it.
Like, in one of your favorite sequences, which is the one take hallway scene,
Yeah.
we did 15 takes of that. It was a very
Okay.
long night of just nailing that sequence down, but it was a dream. We needed it to be in one
Yeah.
take. And dude, we were so behind. Our AD was, and Antonio did a wonderful job as AD, man, and he was really trying to like meddle our expectations and let us know how much time we have before people are going into, overtime and they have to go home and go to sleep. Yeah, we just had a blowout where I'm like, dude, we just need to fucking shoot it. Like,
Yeah.
I get that you want to be a great DP right now, and I'm thankful because you're my DP and I want you to do the best job, but I also need you to just fucking shoot this thing. And we blew up, dude, in front of. He's like, well, what, dude? You want to hire me because you want me to do my lighting designs that you take it, but you don't want me to like have the tools, dude. Like, we're just, and we looked at each other. I said, look, man, it's okay. I respect you that you fought. I hope we have a mutual respect that this happened. Let's just calm down, take 10 more minutes, get it done, let's nail it. And we did. We added lights in. We had a lot more moonlighting.
Yeah.
We added in the blue tones in the window, which is my favorite part of the sequence, and the orange street light when she's peeking out to the entrance. We needed that shit to work. But yeah, those blowouts were all worth it. So
I think that's just part of the process too. Part of the process, man. And I think I'm grateful because we worked for so many years. We know how we work. Okay, ride the wave. We wouldn't argue if you weren't passionate. That's what I think.
It's ebbs and flows. That's what life is.
Yeah.
Right?
So bringing it back to why we had that conversation, I think what Edgar's trying to say is that he didn't necessarily fully understand home, and that was okay, because me as a director, I knew that my faith and understanding the vision was going to carry it as long as my team supported me, at which they did to the fullest extent, and it came together. So that was fine. I just think that, like The Last of Us, and it's the reason I even bring up the comparison of what they did, is it was always a game and a story that was known that people might not love it off the bat. They need to give it a chance to understand it.
I feel the way you were saying that was totally directed to Edgar.
I didn't think you were. I didn't think it was.
Dude, I don't know why everyone in this room is interpreting my conversations differently. It's very hard to get this segment out without someone getting offended. Trigger warning to everyone listening at home.
Funny, it was 2020. Man.
I think Last of Us, more specifically Last of Us Part 2, was a game that people, the developers, Neil Druckmann, knew that it was not going to be necessarily loved immediately and revered by some, but the ones that really dove down to understand it were going to love it. And that's what we always hoped home will be. And Edgar ended up having that aha moment in post where he's like, dude, this all makes sense. Like, oh my God, this is why this was all pieced together this way. This is why we shot this way. Like, he had that.
I even added. I even was making like suggestions. Like, dude, what if we take it a step further? And some of them, Adriel was like, yeah, let's fucking do it.
Yeah.
We were pushing the envelope in the editing room, which was awesome.
Right.
So, like Last of Us 2, we want people to watch the movie right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that's going to be available day one is the movie. If you want to continue supporting us through our funnel, we will get back at you in coming weeks after your purchase, and we will show you more ways to get involved and help support us, because we do have 3 projects that are, ready to start being produced.
Yeah.
And we hope to get those off the bat in the next 12 to 18 months.
Awesome.
So, people's support and people, spending the low fees that we've had, and we've fought really hard to keep every fee for this film low, will just help us get back on the drawing board, learn from everything we've made mistakes with this film, and just bring people better content that will hopefully do bigger and better things as we continue to grow in our careers.
I agree with you on that too. Like, keeping that low fee, especially for your first feature, is always a plus, because the thing is, no one knows who that you guys are. In that regard, because if they come across and it's like $20 to watch this film,
Like, no one's
gonna watch that.
you might get a few people, but
Yeah.
your movie's gonna make $100.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
It's
right.
gonna be your mom and dad.
Yeah, it's like your mom, your dad, your cousin, maybe your brother or sister, whoever it is. Then all of a sudden you're like, why did I make $100? Oh yeah, because I priced it $20. Like I mean, we'll talk about the pricing in a bit, but like, you can do, like, if you have ultra cheap prices, like $5, you can do like a Black Friday sale for like $2.50 if you felt like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can be like a renegade in that shit. Here's another question: director's cut. Will there be a director's cut? Not within the first year.
I don't
I
think
feel like people are getting the director's cut.
I mean,
I want to see it with the deleted scenes. That's what I want. I want the whole kit caboodle.
I still have the original V1 work in progress.
Okay.
It's definitely the roughest in the post aspect, but if you want to see the original true vision, I'd be happy to give you that copy
Okay.
if you ever really truly want to
Yeah.
experience it. That copy was 1 hour and 18 minutes.
Okay.
And yeah, I don't know, man. I'm happier with the film in its state it's in.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay.
Like,
okay.
as a director, that's why I think he says that. Like, this is the director's cut, even though it's taken a lot of outside influence,
Yeah.
even though it's taken a lot of changes over the 2-year process. I'm most happy with the film in the state it's in right now.
As long as you're happy.
This is my director's cut.
All right.
My, I don't know. I wanted to say something fancy, like with the French accent, but I couldn't come up with anything in time. My Tour de France, but that's biking. That has nothing to do with movies, but that's like what I was going for there.
Just don't pull a Zack Snyder, man. All right.
Yeah, it's not a 4 hour.
we're gonna do the 4-hour re-release of Home.
Oh my god.
But to kind of
Just don't do the Ridley Scott Blade Runner. I mean, that's what you should say.
Oh, yeah.
This is the director's cut. This is the unrated director's cut. This is the director's final ultimate cut. What?
Milking that cow,
Yeah.
baby.
I think for any viewer out there that gives our film a chance and enjoys it and is like John in wanting there to be more about Catherine and her backstory, I will tell you that the only thing we've explored in this universe in continuing in the next 5 years is a sequel that is revolvent around Catherine's childhood that directly leads into the ending of Home.
Okay.
Meaning the flashbacks and seeing how it all led to that chapter of her life. So, it might not be the end for Home. It will definitely never be a trilogy. I mean, the only sequel that we are passionate about creating, if we do create, would be helping you guys understand Catherine more, because there is a lot behind her, and we know a lot that you don't know as the audience about Catherine that we want to tell you. But we'll kind of let the viewers decide if that's a story worth us exploring over the next couple years.
I think that's a good idea. I'd like to know more about Catherine. I think she's an onion, and we only peeled like one layer from her. I think
for sure.
I don't think
She has a lot of layers, man.
Except for maybe the end scene, but that would just be that's just a moment that we get. That's the only thing I'd say.
It's a peek through the curtains.
Oh yeah, because I mean, like you said, she's killing herself slowly from all the remorse, I guess, of actually killing her husband. But she has no remorse when she does, spoiler alert, kill both the lover and her husband.
Correct.
So it's like,
So you start to explore her mental disabilities, which is entirely what the sequel would be about.
All right, then.
She does have very specific mental disabilities that we've known since day one, that we spoke with Abby about when we were doing our early rehearsals, that we worked with on her character development. It was something we wanted her to just portray honestly. If people catch it, that's great. And if we ever get the chance to do a sequel, we'll really, I mean, it would be a 2-hour feature, a much longer story that's just diving into her as a person and what led to the quick journey that is Home. So it's definitely crossed our conversation.
Awesome. I like this. I like this idea. I hope it happens.
Yeah, me too.
Now, I have no more questions. Is there any other things you want to add about the film that people should know besides pricing?
Watch it.
Watch it. All right, that's easy. Easy peasy.
I just want people to know that Home was always meant to be a quick, riveting, conversation starting piece. It is a film we know not everyone will love. It's a film that we know some will absolutely love and support with us. Regardless, I want all of you to know the reason we even came on here with John is because we care about the honesty of how this film is perceived. We embrace everyone that hates it. We embrace everyone that loves it. We embrace the people who are on the fence. We embrace those that'll watch it 10 times. We embrace those that'll turn it off after 20 minutes. The fact that you're even giving our story a chance and even attempting to understand what we tried to do to make Home a genre-defining horror film is exactly the reason we made it. So it's an hour of your time, guys. It really is fucking worth every second. At a 62-minute final runtime, you really have nothing better to do this Halloween season than spend 1 hour supporting indie filmmakers that did nothing but try to push the boundaries for diversity, both on camera and off, push the boundaries for what even can be considered horror with lack of gore, lack of nudity, and lack of sexual energy, which is something that is a driving force in many horror films over the last 5 to 10 years.
And jump scares.
And I think it's a unique experience whether you love it or not, and that uniqueness has definitely earned your 62 minutes. So
And I'm going to add this too, and this might sound like I'm sucking some dicks here, but honestly, it's actually one of the better films of indie filmmaking in Las Vegas I've seen, to be completely honest with you guys. And I'm not saying that because I'm like...
You're not bullshitting us.
I'm not bullshitting.
This is a closing segment, right?
Yeah, I'm not bullshitting at all.
Thanks, John.
I'm being serious. Like, I thought it was shot nicely. It has better moments than the other things I've seen in...
Thank you, man.
You know what I mean?
That means a lot.
So I think everyone should give it the chance. If it's not your cup of tea, you should give it a chance anyway, because you should support local filmmakers and indie filmmakers in general too. And even if you like it, review it. You know what I mean? Give your honest opinion, because these guys here, again, came on the show to hear what I had to say as a viewer. And I'm not trying to be I wasn't like bullshitting them the whole time. I was being honest with everything I had.
Yeah.
And they're going to take these notes that you're giving, and they already did that with their first, review copy, the anonymous copies, I guess, or anonymous reviews, I should say.
Yeah.
And they took that to heart, and they perfected their film to what they want. They need to see the vision for finally. So I think with you guys reviewing the film, they'll take that as well and take it for their next film.
Absolutely. And we'll have public reviews embedded on our page, so people are free to leave star reviews or leave comment reviews. Just know that, just like John said, I mean, everything that you say will help us become better directional filmmakers on the next one when we shoot next year. And if there's things that you love about our content and things that you don't, it's only in your benefit to help us shape the things that you don't, so the things that you love shine harder in the next project we make. So it's more for you. So it's more for the people that are spending their time watching our content. And let me tell you, our films, the ones that we have in the works, are darker.
Yeah.
They're edgier.
Definitely
Classier. It's the Rising Again way. And I mean, we want to push boundaries. And John, I really, really appreciate you saying that, in your own words, that we're setting a standard for how indie films can look in Vegas, and that we're kind of in an upper tier there, because we've taken a lot of passion to not only reinventing what this horror film is, but reinventing what people expect from the indie field from our city. And I think it comes from our LA experience before we moved back. I think that I have to thank Hollywood a little bit for kind of teaching me the things that in those earlier years Vegas just wasn't doing at all. Mm-hmm. Granted, a lot of these crews have gotten a lot better, and they've taken a lot more influences, but
including us too.
But yeah, we just want to learn how to continue to be a better crew, because these upcoming projects, if you think this is worth your time, then
and even one more thing too is, like, take from what Daddy's Home, as I know it's a short, to what you guys have done now. It's probably 100 times better, obviously, and you've also learned a lot from that as well too. So again, guys, to listening to this, if you've seen that film, if they have, I don't know if you guys have released that one at all.
Yeah, so if you go to facebook.com/thisisnotyourhome, that's where you'll find all the updates about our film and how to purchase it day one. But also, if you click on the videos tab, we have Dottie Loves Me, the full 27-minute original cut. No worries. The full original 27-minute cut that we actually ran in theaters to a near sold-out screening in Vegas.
2015, right?
2015. And we also have 2 horror shorts that take place in the Conjuring universe that we shot for a competition to help raise awareness for Home, raise finances that ended up helping us get the money. And all of the early work from Rising Again that led us to Home is all on facebook.com/thisisnotyourhome.
And we just had a new badass trailer drop. Although you guys are watching it Friday, it dropped this Monday, so check it out.
You guys sent me that. It didn't work.
The what?
The teaser 3 or whatever, I think, or trailer 3.
I don't know if I sent it to you.
Yeah, you
Did
did.
I send it to you? When?
you did.
This morning?
No, you sent it to me Sunday. You sent me 2 things Sunday, and like one of them didn't work.
Edgar, what'd you send him?
Yeah.
I don't even know what I sent you, John.
God, I can't.
Well, we have a new trailer that came out today, so
Okay.
we'll send that to you.
Yeah, that's fine.
We have 3 trailers now, guys. Go watch them. We have the Sisters trailer. That way you guys can get introduced to the 2
Yeah.
sisters who are the core of the film.
This one. I got sent this too.
Oh, okay. I didn't mean to send you that
Oh.
through VHX, which is why I revoked the access, because I wanted you to watch the movie.
Gotcha.
Those trailers, yes.
So it wasn't my fault.
It wasn't your fault. It was my fault.
Blaming the other guy.
So we have the Sisters trailer. We have the Catherine Wells trailer. 2 separate trailers to get you introduced to the main characters of the story. And as of today, we have our Credential Laurel trailer, which shows you all the accolades that we gained and the acclaim that we've gotten critically, which we've gotten some wonderful feedback from some critics. And we're definitely going to be using some of the wonderful feedback you've given us for our future trailers as well today. So
Awesome.
Expect to see your name in quotes.
Awesome. And pricing, by the way.
So the full release price is $4.99.
Psh,
Over the
wonderful.
first 3 weeks, which is the Halloween
Yep.
season, there are a ton of ways to get 25% off that price, which is why we encourage everyone to go to facebook.com/thisisnotyourhome. Because starting on the 15th, we're going to show you tons of ways you can get 25% off that $4.99 rate, which makes it even fucking cheaper and more of a steal. And we plan to introduce, starting November 1st, an ability to rent for a little bit lesser of a price. It's not substantial savings. We do recommend you buy it because you do get more perks. It's in that 4K quality. But we have so many ways for you to watch the movie starting the 15th. We have a big push this October. We have small pushes through Thanksgiving season, but we're coming really back hard for Christmas season as a winter horror film. So
Awesome.
Over the next 3 months, we're all home.
So if you're listening to this today, guys, that means it's available today.
Buy home. Buy home. You have 2 ways to check out our movie, guys. Facebook.com/thisisnotyourhome, or you can go to thisisnotyourhome.com to go to the official website where the trailers are embedded. You can check out some of our BTS photos if you want to get excited about the behind the scenes process. And we redirect you straight to our 2-click buy process, which is as easy as clicking buy it now, putting in your card information, owning the film. You immediately support us. 100% of the profits go to our company into an account that is just being ready for our next project. So you're directly supporting the filmmakers that made this and helping us just get on to the next one. So thank you for, any of your consideration and checking out our sites. It's all about This Is Not Your Home. Facebook, This Is Not Your Home, thisisnotyourhome.com. And buy the movie, please.
And also $4.99 is literally a fucking cup of coffee nowadays.
It's a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
And it's, we anticipate that some people will spend $5 on the movie, $10 to go get some food, $10-15 on some pizza. And honestly, this is cheaper than watching fucking Mulan, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus Christ. You're spending $30 on Mulan plus your $12 Disney Plus. I'm going to go on a rant right now. Fuck
it's
Disney for this.
$6.99,
Yeah,
actually.
unless he has the bundle. Let him
You do have the
let him
bundle,
speak.
And you're enjoying Hulu and ESPN Plus.
If
It's
you want
$12.99.
Disney, you want Hulu.
And ESPN Plus too. I
And
would say.
ESPN Plus for the sports lovers. I notice how neither of us mentioned ESPN any of those
I'm
times.
sorry.
We just don't watch.
Yeah, oh my god.
fucking-
Have you? I mean, I'm a fan of sports, but have you watched the 30 for 30s?
They're great. Oh,
They're great, yeah.
magnificent.
And they're
mini
all on
docs, man.
ESPN Plus. Disney, if you want to sponsor this,
No
thing.
way. Okay, dude.
Yeah.
You might have earned me at least getting
Yeah.
a month or 2 of Disney Plus just so I could run through the 30 for 30s because they're beautiful
And,
documentaries.
and the first volume, actually, you know how Fries is like slowly shrinking.
Yeah.
Don't talk about
so-
it, dude. I'm tearing up already.
The 30 for 30 volume 1's like $10 from
Nice,
Blu-ray.
man. Have you seen 30 for 30?
I'm going to be honest, I don't even know what that is.
No, they're just beautiful,
Yeah.
powerful, emotionally moving documentaries that are shot at the highest quality, and they're 30 minutes. Like, they're really great stories based on players and inspirational stories that revolve around the sporting universe. And dude, every single one that I've ever watched has leave me like, oh my god, I gotta do something with my fucking life.
Yeah, it wows you. Yeah,
Nice,
know?
nice.
yeah. So again, guys, $4.99 for the film, but 25% off for if what was it again through
Head to facebook.com/thisisnotyourhome for many ways to get 25% off, including heading to Triple T by Triple V, which is our company hosted event happening at Phantom Hookah Lounge. October 30th. It's our spooky Halloween night. We plan to have tons of people there. We have musicians, 13 artists, one wild night, all local talent, and everybody there gets a pamphlet with a unique code that will immediately get you 25% off if you purchase it during the event.
Wonderful. That you're the salesman of this.
Sparkling Ice, Triple T, the movie, you name it, dude. I'll fucking Kroger Purified Water. We Love Smiths.
Essentia?
Let me see. Essentia. If you don't drink this, you have dementia. You just name it, dude. Oh, God.
Chasing the frame. Can you plug Chasing the frame?
Yeah.
Chasing the frame. If you don't listen, you're chasing the lame. Go down the lane. Get the shit in your brain. Because if not... Oh, man. I wanted to keep going, dude. I was about to start freestyling. I was gonna... if y'all had given me a beat at that moment, I maybe have been able to, but...
But anyway, guys, that's the end of our episode. Thank you guys for listening. Hopefully you guys watch home and go to facebook.com/thisisnotyourhome. Remember, 25% off. You can get that there. And on top of that, too, a cup of coffee, guys.
A cup of coffee.
A venti, I think, at Starbucks.
Absolutely.
Like, even at Grouchy John's, it's like $4 for a medium. And I'm like, all right, I can spend another $1 for home. You know what I mean? And on top of that, too, quarantine life, all you need is some Act 2 popcorn or some Pop Secret. Make that shit in the microwave, pop in home,
Ain't that the truth?
And you're good to go, right? And again, guys, also listen to the podcast. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Overcast, you name it. We're probably on it except Google Podcast. That's an ongoing joke in this podcast. And please review us on Apple Podcasts, by the way, because it helps our rankings. And we can't really do this without the love and support of all you people listening. Thank you again, by the way, everyone who's listened to the podcast. We've hit over 1,600 views, I think, or listens.
You guys are doing like a giveaway too, right? Or
thank you for reminding me, because I want to clarify that actually. So from now until the 31st of December, whoever guesses the correct or close to Price is Right style amount of listens total at the end of the year, we're gonna give away a T-shirt and a mask. So
fuck yeah.
Nope, I want that mask.
Yeah. So,
how many are you at right now? I'm gonna do my guess publicly.
Okay. I think last time I saw, oh my God.
Cheating? No, this is how people verify that I'm gonna win. Like when I win correctly, because they're gonna know that I said it on air.
Hold on, I have to go on like the actual Anchor site.
Just let me. Well, I really take this serious. I want that mask
because it rounds up on Anchor, where it's like 1,600, but I think I'm at 1,575, or we're hit.
So 1,600. How long has Chasing the Frame been public?
Literally since January 1st, 2020.
God, good
Yeah.
shit, man.
That's good numbers, man.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. We'll just go off the total plays of 1,600. So anywhere from there you want to go, and we still technically have about a whole bunch of episodes too. We have
2,200.
2,200?
2350.
2350. 2,200.
Let me change mine to 22.
You can't change these.
No.
2349.
2340.
No, fuck you, dude.
All right, wow, holy
I'll
shit.
get the mask, you get the shirt if we win. We're going for 2350, bro.
2350. Okay. All right. We'll see if that happens. So I
hope you surpass it.
I hope so.
really
Too. I mean, we already hit the number I wanted to hit already. Like I only wanted to hit 1,200. To be honest, that was like my goal. Like if I can get 100 like listens
That's
a month
lot
or
of
whatever.
streams, man, for a podcast, especially like people are dedicating.
Yeah,
time
so
to listen,
it's
so
not.
that's
I
great.
mean, no episode has hit 100 yet in general, but like just knowing the overall is like at 1,600 or whatever right now.
beautiful.
It's like holy shit. But again, guys, 2350 is their final answer.
2350 is the final answer.
2350. Okay. Okay. Wait.
And he's
wait.
2349.
2349.
All right. 2349. All right. Final answer.
Yeah.
It's
for
locked
sure.
in. Final answer. It's locked in. All right, guys, check us out again. This episode drops obviously today, which is Friday, and then Brendan and Niall also dropped on Wednesday. That's their part 1, and next week is their part 2. It was a 5-hour podcast. Yeah. So, guys, listen up and listen in. Peace.